We will start the June D&E meeting. I'll start off. Do we have any apologies?
Through Mr. Chair, I believe we have an apology from Councillor Abbott.
Would someone like to move?
Moved.
Moved by Councillor Watts, seconded Councillor Campbell. Would someone like to move? Oh, sorry, all in favour? Against, so that's carried. Adoption of the previous minutes. Would someone like to move that they're a true and accurate reflection of the May meeting?
I'll move.
I'll second. All in favour? Carried. Any declarations of interest? There being none. Any public participation?
Nope.
None. No site inspection. So we'll get straight into the business item, DESC 06.1. The garage in Hayden Street, Murrurundi. I'll hand over to you, Matt.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. This is a pretty straightforward application. DA of 26 of 2020. It's to regularise the use of an existing garage at 33 Hayden Street, Murrurundi. The reason it's being reported to the D&E committee is because the works were carried out without council approval, when approval should have been obtained. The application was notified for 2 weeks. We didn't receive any submissions from the neighbours. The proposal complies with the Upper Hunter LEP and DCP. The proposed developments are permissible in the zoning, and the assessment of the application indicates there's no significant impacts on the environment or the amenity of the area. We've recommended approval of the application subject to a number of conditions of consent. There's one condition that we've added in there that requires the applicant to submit engineering details before an occupation certificate is issued. That condition doesn't appear to have, well, it's not on the copy I've got. I don't know if it's on the copy you've got there. Is there a condition number 6 requiring engineering details to be submitted? No, so I'll have to find that condition and read it out. Just bear with me, I'm sorry.
I have it here if you'd like, Mr. Chair. Condition 6, prior to the issue of any occupation certificate, certification by a suitably qualified structural engineer that the building is structurally adequate for its intended use and shall be submitted to council. Reason to ensure the building is structurally adequate for its intended use.
That's the one. Thank you, Councillor Burns. So, oh, sorry, Mr. Chair, just so as I said, we've recommended approval of the application subject to the
Mr.
Great.
Chair?
Thanks, Matt. Lee, over to
Yeah,
you.
just a question. Do you know why they didn't get approval first? Weren't aware of the procedure, or did they say?
Through you, Mr. Chair, they just weren't aware that they needed development consent for this proposal.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything relevant they wish to contribute to this thing? For me, it's fairly straightforward.
Mr. Chair, no, look, I'm happy with it because the building complies and is within the limits, etc. The standards within the limits of the development. I don't have a problem with it at all.
Fair enough, though. So, do we have a mover for the recommendation?
I'm happy to move that way.
I'll second.
Yeah. So I'm in favour as well. So that is carried. Thank you very much. Which brings us into councillor questions. I'll go around. Councillor Watts.
I'd just like, I have spoke to Matt, but if we could have a bit of a briefing on where we're up to, if there's any changes with the motel service station in Aberdeen Street.
Yep, through you, Mr. Chair. we are about to, that's going on exhibition. So we've received some additional information from the applicant in relation to flooding. There was a council resolution back in March of 2019 that council was to undertake community consultation in relation to this planning proposal. Once we receive more information regarding flooding, that information has finally come in, and so we are now going out undertaking community consultation. An ad will be appearing in the Newcastle Herald, or a notice in the Newcastle Herald this week. Unfortunately, our local papers still aren't publishing, and we're also sending out letters to our surrounding residents as well, and advertising the planning proposal on our website and on social media.
I have to say the Newcastle Herald is not going to reach many people locally, is it?
I understand that, but that's all we've got.
It's a statement. It's not a question, Matt. It is a statement. Thank you. Thanks for the update.
No other questions, Lee? Great. Councillor Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Look, how effective is this community consultation, and who actually replies? It seems to me that we talk about going to community consultation, but in effect, it doesn't seem to be very effective. Now, it may be different at Scone. At Merriwa, it doesn't seem, it's only just a handful of people that tend to know about it. So just how can we get out more into the community and say it is a proper community consultation? There's a matter that's coming up at Merriwa that really needs to go to the community.
Through the chair, I guess we are using all possible media outlets. At the moment, as you know, a lot of the local papers aren't publishing because of COVID-19, or particularly in Scone. But we're using social media, our website, and direct notification of residents. But if you have any other suggestions of how you would like us to notify people, we'd be happy to consider those ideas.
Mr. Chair, if I may, just supplementary to that, you talk about the social media. What social media are you using? Is it an accredited social media or just the general ones that we seem to have, and they are called social media?
So through the chair, I'm referring to our Facebook page.
So that is the official one from the council, the council Facebook page. Would we refer people to that page to gain official notifications?
We refer, through the chair, we refer people to our website for more information, or suggest they can come into the offices to view information on that planning proposal. But generally, yes, we would put information on our Facebook page.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, councillor? No. Well, Councillor Watts covered off on my question, so I will draw the meeting to a close. Thank you all for your attendance and your input as ever. Much appreciated. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.